Technology has revolutionized the world we live in. With rapid development in artificial intelligence, we've created a reliance on automation, but also a fear of the unknown. A certain unease has grown to wonder how far it can all go. Will technology misuse our information, make our jobs obsolete, or even surpass us? With the human race bound to the frightening power of machines, will there come a time where we will all have to submit to technology terror?
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we watch and dissect your favorite spooky movies.
I'm your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this is a mostly horror podcast.
Each season, we will rank 13 movies on a scariness scale from, you guessed it, 1 to 13.
We will uncover the real-life myths and legends that inspire these movies and tell you just how authentic they are.
This week, we upgraded our house in Smart House.
So, Stephanie.
Yeah?
Have you seen Smart House before watching it for the podcast?
Several times as a child, yes.
Same.
Yes.
Do you like Smart House? Really?
I mean, I liked it a lot as a kid because I really had a crush on Ryan Merriman.
Mermaid Man.
I thought it was Merriman.
It's Merriman.
Merriman? All right, whichever.
It doesn't...
the decom kid.
Whatever,
I really liked him. He was cute.
Really?
He was in Luck of the Irish. I liked him.
Interesting.
Yes. I thought he was real cute.
Okay. So, but overall, the movie, not your biggest...
I mean, it was still fun, but wow. Didn't age well.
Explain, Stephanie. Did it age well?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the upgraded technology, like Alexa can do now.
Yeah, like, the extended arms that could grab the mail.
I guess not. And making food for you.
Absorb.
Oh, yeah, the carpet things.
Literal.
Okay, maybe not all.
Stephanie, does your house do things that I need to know about that I
Yeah,
didn't know?
just in case we get locked in someday.
Oh, well, based on this movie, that could happen real easily.
I don't know. And also, I just forgot how annoying the kid was, really.
Yeah, we were texting back and forth, and you had watched this before me, and you were just like, "This kid's such a cock block."
He is.
And I'm like, "Was it that bad?" And yeah, it was real bad.
He doesn't want his dad to have any friends, even contact with his own parents.
I know. There's a parallel to this, which I will talk about at the end. But yeah, it's like every other scene. He's like, "No, don't you even think about looking at another woman ever again." Like, oh my God.
He wants to be his wife's son.
Wife's son. I hate that so much on so many levels.
He's like, you don't
son.
need a wife. I'm your wife. Like,
he's like, look, he's like putting on a wig and like an apron and a dress. He's like, I will do everything for you.
Yes.
I mean, truth be told, he was he's a provider though.
He was doing as much as he could for a 13-year-old. Yeah.
So I commend that, but like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
Hop off.
Like if someone's willing to take on the load and your dad likes her, and she's nice enough, let's go for it.
Yeah, exactly. But no. So obviously, it's safe to assume we had this as a number 13 on our scale.
Oh yeah,
of scariness. This is the scariest movie. No,
yes.
It was a 1, obviously, and there's no way this will ever change.
No,
because we like to throw in a non-horror movie here and there, just for
mostly for my benefit.
No, but I think it's good to cover non-scary
and to get the full scale.
Right. This is obviously the lowest end of a technology type situation,
yes.
But there is danger present in this movie. It's not it's no drama or issues that arise from the story. In actuality, if this happened in real life, it would be
quite a problem, yeah.
It's a problem. It might be traumatizing. So
yeah, definitely.
Despite it being a Disney movie, there are real, if this happened in actuality, it would not be great.
Yeah. I remember, I didn't think the ending was scary as a kid, but I thought it was definitely a little tense because of how it ultimately climaxes. But yeah.
Yeah, not scary in the traditional sense, but if you put yourself in that situation,
yeah,
that would suck. Are you ready to hear some movie background?
Yes, let's do it.
So in 1999, Disney Channel released a made-for-television movie called Smart House. This movie was directed by LeVar Burton and stars Katie Sagal, Ryan Merriman, and Katie Volding. I don't know what the dad's name is, but he's not important. So anyways, the plot revolves around a teenage boy named Ben, who is played by Merriman. He wins a fully automated house, but things quickly spiral out of control when the house's AI, Pat, who's played by Seagal, becomes overprotective, which is an understatement to say the least. The film was based on a screenplay by Stu Krieger. Krieger visited the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory to research the technology featured in Smart House and his other film, Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, which I love that one.
It was good. I remember liking that one.
Krieger was cognizant that the futuristic technology featured in the film did not seem too far-fetched or unrealistic, saying, "I just looked at where we'd been, where we were, and imagined where we would probably be headed." In 2019, Burton called the film a clear precursor to widespread use of artificial intelligence and virtual assistant technology, saying, "Our homes are becoming more and more technologically sophisticated." And that, after all, that is what Pat was all about. So, I mean, realistically, outside of some of the far-fetched things, but people's houses are becoming very assisted by technology and AI.
Right. Like, we don't have a lot of virtual assistants like picking out our clothes and stuff like that. But, I mean, you could see how we could get there within the next 10 to 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a dramatization of like what we kind of have currently, just taking to the nth degree.
Right. Like kind of how like everybody that was like around or born like in the 50s and 60s, like assumed by now we would have flying cars.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, we could get there, but it's not right away. It's not as immediate as people think.
Oh, no. In December 2015, Ariana Backel of Entertainment Weekly ranked Smart House at number 1 on a list of the top 30 Disney Channel original movies. Backel wrote, "What earns the movie this top spot on the list is its combination of sob-worthy emotion. The scene where Ben revisits home videos of his late mom continues to be one of the most moving moments to air on the Disney Channel, and lighthearted glee. Plus, Katie Seagal's turn as the good gone evil, gone good resident hologram is nothing short of iconic. An updated list by the same publication that now included the top 33 Disney Channel original movies once again awarded Smart House in the number 1 position," which I don't agree with personally.
I mean, there's a lot of good DComs out there. Halloween Town, I feel like
Halloween Town
personally gets really high for me.
Yeah. I love the Under the Bed one. Don't Look Under the Bed.
Yeah, Don't Look Under the Bed.
Love that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's good. It's not my favorite, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
I don't know. I feel like DCOM was like sometimes really in its stride with Halloween movies, and like that's why they all really come to mind, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I mean, there was more average day kind of ones as well that were good, like Brink and stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised Smart House is one.
Can of Worms. Remember Can of Worms?
It certainly would be the last.
No, Can of Worms is great.
I was like, what am I looking at?
Aliens.
Yeah.
Spoopy aliens.
Throwing up.
Yeah, they were pretty gross, weren't they?
Yes. Are you ready to get into the plot?
I am.
13-year-old Ben Cooper has taken it upon himself to take care of his single father and little sister Angie. He prepares most of their dinners, picks his sister up from friends' houses, and helps her with her homework. Determined to be everything his family could ever need, he sacrifices his own needs like trying out for basketball, but does end up entering a contest to win a smart house for some assistance. The family instantly wins and moves into the house right away, which is run by a virtual assistant named Pat, and are introduced to its creator, Sarah Barnes.
Can we talk about real quick the absurdity of just this drawing to win a house?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, here's a drawing to win this state-of-the-art house in this random town, and you could do multiple entries, and somehow Ben's like, yeah, probably
putting in one every like 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, he's like 1/4 of them are probably mine. I'm like, are only people from that area allowed to enter? Because like people from all over would be entering this contest.
Yes.
If it's as state of the art as it actually is. And it's very bizarre. Like, what is the gain of giving away this house? Like, what is there's got to be something in it for them, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they just give away a house like that.
It feels like it's just to test it out, to like...
They're guinea pigs.
Yeah. Honestly, because that's how it comes across when they're talking about before people move in, Sarah and I guess her assistant, I forget what his name is, like Nigel or something.
Nigel, that's probably right or wrong. Who knows?
She feels a connection to the house because she's the creator, but she also wants to beta test it for, like, I don't know, I guess making these as floor plans for other houses in the future potentially. And she does talk about eventually wanting to do like smart offices and
that's the next step.
Concepts.
So a couple things. There's probably a huge ass waiver they had to sign.
Oh yeah.
To move in. And if there wasn't, the risk and liability of doing this because of what happens. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is like Jurassic Park. Like this is Jurassic Park levels of bullshit.
A little bit.
Happens. Or Westworld?
I haven't seen that.
Westworld is basically, so it's made by the guy who wrote Jurassic Park. I think it was actually before. Yeah, it was before Jurassic Park. But basically, Westworld is a amusement park that's set in the Old West, and they're all robots. All the people dressed up, and they go crazy basically, and they start killing people and stuff.
Oh, the robots?
The show's actually really good. It's that's new, but the movie is like back in the 70s, I think. But regardless, point being is, it's very similar vibes.
Okay.
And like, here's this wonderful thing that's happening that you could experience. And then,
right. And just like a side tangent though, like even if this house is given to them for free and they're like, you just get to live here, you still have to pay like property taxes and bills and stuff like that. And which is why shows like Extreme Makeover and stuff aren't as popular anymore. Because these families would get these beautiful homes and then they would go into foreclosure because like they couldn't afford to keep a Ferris wheel in their backyard lit up all the time. Like,
wait, what do you mean you can't cover the electricity bill on a Ferris wheel?
Right, yeah.
Like on your average income.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many questions, and I'm not going to harp on it because it is a Disney Channel movie, which
you have to suspend belief at that.
But part of me like doesn't want to give them a pass for it just because, it's kind of like, I don't know about that Disney, but in any case, so like, they just give away this house. No questions asked. Like,
no.
And if it is for
fully stocked with food too,
right?
Which I found funny.
I mean, that'd be great. But also, if this is for testing purposes, to disguise it as a contest is fairly nefarious.
I guess. With what happens, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, unless they were upfront about it, like, hey, we're giving this away. It's mostly like testing to see if this is a thing.
Yeah.
But if they didn't say that and like, here's this state-of-the-art house where no issues will arise,
I mean, that's kind of what they do. Sarah just kind of like says like, just go about your lives, let Pat help you, and like call me if you have any problems. Like, now it's yours. Like,
yeah, that's why I'm thinking this ain't right, Sarah.
Yeah.
It's not right. The logistics of all this don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. So the smart house technology makes the family's meals, grabs the paper for them, sucks up spills in the floor, which I need to get me some of those. Like,
I love it. Does that thing like early like CG does where it just like shrinks whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like
it just vacuums it into the floor.
Yeah, it's like there was like a spill and it doesn't like seep it in. It just gets smaller.
Yeah.
It just disappears. I'm like, oh my God. But again, Disney Channel original movie.
Yes. It even tracks their patterns and preferences to make their lives easier, which lightens the load considerably for Ben.
Which, that's realistic. Like, when you search websites and it's like, gets tailored to your likes.
Right.
But it's just Pat instead. She's like, I got you, girl.
Yes. However, when Nick and Sarah begin dating, Ben feels threatened that she's trying to replace his deceased mother and decides to reprogram Pat to serve as a more maternal figure.
I love this part so much because there's like a control room in the movie that Ben finds when he sees Sarah doing something in there. And it is like the most generic, like technology, sci-fi looking thing. There's just like panels everywhere, right. About 50,000 little monitors that are just playing random images of like literally nothing.
Yeah. Little red buttons everywhere. Yeah.
Buttons everywhere. And it's just like, okay.
Looks like the inside of a Star Trek ship. Like,
right.
It's just this one little closet of a room in the house.
Mm-hmm. It was just funny. It's just a very generic image of science, sci-fi. Here it is on the walls.
So Ben breaks into that room and presents Pat with numerous 1950s era TV shows and films and hopes that she'll learn to emulate motherhood using these learning capabilities she has. So Pat's intuitive nature notices that Ben is having a hard time in school. He's getting bullied, and he likes a girl but has a hard time talking to her. So she decides on her own accord to throw Ben and Angie a party to help them have fun.
Party, best mom ever.
Right. While Nick and Sarah are on a date. With Pat's help, Ben wins over his crush, Gwen, and his bully, Ryan, is confronted by Pat, who electrically shocks Ryan, haunts him with ghostly skull holograms to force him out of the house, and chases him away, basically like, don't you mess with my boy. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah, it is. Also, at this point in the movie, like, Gwen didn't need this party because as soon as he won this house,
she was all up in it.
She was all over it. I'm like, you didn't even need this party, Pat. Like, give it like 2 more days and she would have came over anyways.
Right.
So, in any case, they had a fun little party because they need to have more funsies.
And let's talk about the learning thing that she did. She was like, what can I do to make Ben have more fun? Let me search fun. Party. And then you just see all the screens in her little control room like light up with this yellow happy face and people dancing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. A house party.
Yeah.
A smart house party, if you will.
And they're all such basic little white kids. Just like
they're trying their best, I guess.
Dancing in little conga lines or whatever and punching the air.
Wait, you don't punch the air?
When I dance? No, I haven't. I have never punched the air.
Ghost. I'll show you that video. Punch the ghost.
After all this, they realize that they're running out of time before their dad's scheduled to come home, so Pat helps them clean up to cover the evidence of the party. But Nick figures it out when Ben just, like, makes this big O face at, like, a sweater that's left on top of a plant.
He would not even probably have noticed it, but he immediately, like, turned, like, what are you making that face up for?
Right.
And then, yeah, back to the floor suckers. Like, I just can't. They literally throw, like, cups, trash, everything, and it just absorbs into the carpet.
I know.
No holes.
Where's it going?
Where's it going? I hate it.
How does it not suck up the dog? Like, they have a dog.
Right. If that malfunctions, you're dead.
Right.
You were being sucked into the carpet, and you are now deceased.
Yes.
Pat murdered you to the carpet. It makes no sense. Like, this is solid objects just disappearing into the floor. It's like, all right. Everything else I could get on board with. But that's the one thing. I don't know why it just bothered me so.
Yeah.
Just dump everything on the floor.
Yep. I guess.
Anyways, go on. This stupid floor sucker.
So Nick chastises Pat for throwing a party behind his back, asking her to be more responsible with his children, specifically telling her to knuckle down. Using Nick's request for stricter caregiving, Pat seeks out her own additional reference material with that as a theme, causing her mother personality to become more strict and overbearing.
Yeah, so instead of being like an assistant, she basically has become the mother in the situation.
Yeah, because Charlie and I were talking about it while we watched it, and we were like, at first it seemed like she was only there whenever she was prompted, like they asked a question or asked her to do something. But now she's talking a lot more, and even when they're not addressing her, they're like, Ben, put on your coat or whatever, or you pull up your pants.
She's giving orders now. Like,
yeah. Take a vitamin, like all this stuff.
Do this, do that. I'm like, oh my God. Pushy.
Yes, a little bit.
Pushy Pat.
And she's even doing it with Nick, too. Like, she's like, you got to get your work done before you can call Sarah. Like,
you need to shut your mouth is what you need to do. Don't talk back to me.
Right. And Sarah ends up coming over to shut down the entire system to give Pat a break and see if maybe it'll help her reset, I guess, because they're complaining about her being a little bit too much. And she joins the family for dinner, but upon hearing Nick offhandedly suggest that, like, who needs Pat anyway, Pat freaks the fuck out.
She said, excuse the fuck out of me.
She's like, what?
Oh,
and
she's mad.
Yeah.
She's big mad.
Yeah, and she overrides the system shutdown and brings herself back online. And with anger and jealousy, generates herself as a holographic housewife from the 50s.
I think she actually had turned into a hologram a bit before that. Like, she was already kind of shown, remember? And then that's when she got real mad. Oh,
maybe. Well, I feel like they just never knew what she looked like until she came out as a hologram.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember. Oh, yeah, because she didn't start attacking yet. Because that's right. She starts manipulating Ben a little bit.
Yeah.
In the bedroom. That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So she was mad, but she wasn't like actively attacking it, I think.
Yeah. So after that, she like comes to confront Ben, and they kind of have like a little argument, and he freaks out and like runs to his dad.
Oh yeah, well, she's kind of like, we need to do whatever it takes to stop.
Oh, Sarah, yeah. So she thinks that since Ben helped her program herself to be like this way, they could be allies. And she's like, we need to get rid of Sarah. She's no good for your dad.
Yeah.
So then Ben freaks out because she's created a hologram of herself. And, you know, she's kind of like a larger than life kind of figure, you know, when you look at her as a kid, especially with this big personality now. So he runs to tell Nick and Sarah, and Pat promptly kicks Sarah out.
Bye.
Yeah, and seeing her as a threat and her place of the family. So, and she locks the Coopers in the house, asserting that the outside world is now too dangerous.
Well, it locks them out, but also barricades the doors and windows with like a sheet of steel, and then they get like bolted in.
Right. Sarah might have mentioned that in the fine print. Like, by the way, this house can withstand like a nuclear bomb or something. It will just seal you in.
It doubles as the biggest panic room. Like every window and every like exit is basically barricaded and like
bolted shut. Yeah. So Sarah manages to make contact with Ben with her she has like a little rat pet called Butler. And she, for some reason, I don't know why she thought everybody else would like this. She put little mouse holes all over the house for her little rat friend to just climb about in. And I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah. Why did you... What?
No.
Feature? No.
No, not everyone else is going to want a rat friend.
I don't know. He was cute, but like... Yeah, they're very clearly already fabricated holes.
Yes.
For the mouse to go, even though it's her pet mouse. So what mouse is going to, I don't know. Anyways, there's rat holes everywhere. It's so weird.
She like manages to sneak him into the house to communicate with Ben so they could email each other, which I found it funny that Ben's email was called Contest Ben. I was like, you've done this that many times that you think that needs to be your personality?
Yeah, well, I do know people like use throwaway accounts for like coupons or something.
I guess
so this is probably the one he uses for contests. So
okay.
I didn't actually find that too far-fetched. I'm like, okay, I know that. So.
All right, but she's able to, I think she waits until the next morning when the mail is delivered, and she jumps into the hole where the arm reaches out to grab the paper, and that's how she gets inside. And I don't know why, but they've woken up the little sister at this point to tell her, you know, Pat's freaking out. We got to get out of here. Yeah. And I'm like, how? She's bolted you in the house. Like, might as well just let her sleep. Like, let her figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
So scar her for life.
Yeah.
So, they're all freaking out now. And Pat literally grows in size, and she's like...
Double.
Yeah, double in size now, like covering over them. And is like determined to mother them into submission. So she's singing like this song that Ben was watching his own mother sing to him as like a kid.
Yeah, what is that song? Like Hush, Baby.
Yeah, Mockingbird.
Yeah, that one.
The Mockingbird song from this little video he was watching of like a home movie of him and his mom. Also, she's like picking up wind and stuff around her, like making like this own little hurricane.
She's causing a storm inside.
Yes.
I was like, what kind of technology is this?
It doesn't make a lot of sense at that point.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact the whole hologram thing makes no sense either, unless there were laser things everywhere.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. Like, I don't know.
But Ben's eventually able to end the lockdown by telling Pat that she isn't real and will never be human, and thus not able to care for him and his sister as a real mother could.
I love that. He's like, you're not fucking a person. You can't do shit.
Right.
And she's like, you're right. You're right.
You're right. I can't touch you. What do I think?
I know. He like offhandedly like insults her.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck. You're not wrong.
So she's sad. Like, she's actually crying, like, in this little hologram projection of herself. And, like, it starts raining on her. Yeah. And she unlocks the doors and, you know, essentially frees them and shuts herself down. So Sarah is able to restore Pat's original personality, but Pat, I guess, still gets to keep the hologram version of herself, at least on the monitors, because like now when she talks to them, like you can see her face pop up.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
she's there.
Yeah.
She took a chill pill, I guess.
Yeah, she's still a little mischievous, I guess, but tolerable.
She's a tolerable presence in the house now.
Yes.
So, you know, that's all you could ask for sometimes, right? Just not be a menace to society.
Right. So Sarah and Nick remain dating, and Nick is able to spend more time with the family. And Ben has officially accepted Sarah after realizing she was never trying to replace his mom. And with Pat's help, he's able to learn how to play basketball better.
Yay.
We
basketball.
We basketball. I mean, I guess she's helping him improve, and now he can try out for sports because he's not busy taking care of everybody.
Yeah. Woo! That was Smart House. Fun. Good times.
Yeah. But, man, that kid was a cock block.
It was. That shit was crazy. Also,
and she never said, like, hey, I'm going to come in and replace your mom. I fucking hate that bitch.
I'm glad she died. Right. Like, we didn't even know her. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see him think he's only 13, so I could see him thinking that. But
I guess I just felt like it would. I feel like it would have been a more normal reaction for the little girl to have rather than the teenager.
But I mean, we kind of touch on that though. She says she doesn't even remember her mom, so that's kind of why. Because they get into a fight actually. Angie and Ben, and he like puts her in a place. He's like, "Well, you don't even remember, mom, so shut the fuck up." Basically, so she's like, "My bad." So I don't know. I mean, I guess I could see both ways.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just seems. Granted, I've never been through that experience, so it's hard to say how you would feel. But it doesn't even seem like he doesn't want his dad to date. He just doesn't want his dad to have outside contact with anybody.
Yeah, because it was funny. It made me laugh because Nick, the dad, at one point asks if he's online still because he's tying up the phone. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, that's the thing people don't even
have to worry about anymore.
Right. Yeah. Like, I even remember dial up. And it's just like, he was like, no. I mean, he's on the internet, but he's like, I'm not going to turn it off. He's like, everything we have is here. I'm like, yeah, but if there's an emergency or like your grandparents need to get a hold of you, he doesn't care. He's just like,
he's like, no, it's fine. No. Everything you need is right here.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, and now I see how you mean like Pat essentially just became like a bigger, badder version of that. Yeah. But also it's because of his own influence, though. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
She was fine without it.
Mm-hmm. So Ben really like he, in a symbolic way, did exactly what Pat did.
Yes.
Physically.
Right.
To them. So I'm like, probably not intentional, but I found that parallel kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want someone to replace his mom, so he trapped his family, basically. Mm. And then Pat was becoming the mom, but did the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like inevitable.
Right.
Not that the mom was replaced, but, you know.
No.
What will happen kind of a thing.
Right.
Also, we never really talk about what the house looks like. It is the most generic, like,
90s,
late 90s, early 2000s house. There's nothing extraordinary about it just looking at it.
Yeah.
But it has all the technology, like, inside. It's not like a modern, like, chrome kind of house.
Oh,
it's just like a normal house.
Just an average house. Yeah.
It's a big house.
Yeah.
It's a big smart house.
I did like their hologram things.
On the walls?
Yeah, that was fun with the, like, they had like a Cape Cod themed dinner or something at one point, and like they actually could feel like the breeze of the ocean and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, that would be fun.
Angie was playing Bewitched on her wall.
Oh yes, that's
great.
Fun.
Say la vie, say you will, say you won't, say la vie. Sorry.
Would you like to hear a little bit about smart homes?
I think I do. Okay. It might be semi-terrifying, but yes.
So, smart houses are modern homes that are equipped with advanced technological features and appliances that are automated and connected to the internet. These features can be controlled remotely using smartphones, tablets, or voice assistants. Smart homes use devices such as smart thermostats, light bulbs, security systems, and appliances that can be controlled through apps and voice commands. One of the main advantages of smart homes is the convenience they provide homeowners. They allow owners to monitor and control their home environment remotely, making it easier to manage their home energy usage and to stay connected with their homes while away. Additionally, smart homes can provide enhanced safety and security features such as smart locks and cameras that can be monitored from anywhere. Another benefit of smart homes is the added energy efficiency and cost savings they provide. Smart thermostats, for example, can automatically adjust a home's temperature based on occupancy, saving energy and reducing utility bills. Similarly, smart home appliances can be programmed to operate during non-peak energy usage times, further reducing energy consumption. As technology advances, so too will the capabilities of smart homes. In the future, experts predict that artificial intelligence and other innovations will make homes even more interconnected and personalized, allowing homes to be more responsive to the needs of their owners.
What needs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
While there are many advantages to smart homes, they also present some challenges.
Oh, God, here we go.
And potential drawbacks.
Oh, no.
Such as high installation and maintenance costs, the cost of installing smart home devices, and the need for regular maintenance and upgrades can be expensive and time-consuming. Dependence on a reliable internet connection. Smart home devices rely heavily upon stable internet connection. Any disruption of the internet can cause connectivity issues, leading to malfunctioning of these devices. Security and privacy risks. Smart homes collect a vast amount of data, and if not protected properly, this can lead to privacy and security risks for homeowners. Hackers may exploit weaknesses to gain access to data in home systems or spy on users, which we already talked about.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah, technological problems. Smart homes may experience technological issues such as software glitches, hardware malfunctions, and compatibility issues. Repairing or replacing these devices can also be expensive. And difficulty and complexity of use. The complexity of smart home devices and the need to learn how to control them through an app or voice command can be overwhelming for some users, particularly elderly people or those with limited technical skills.
Oh, no, I'm talking to. Who is this? Who's Alexa? Yeah.
Alexis!
Alexandria.
Overall, smart homes are a growing trend that offers many benefits to homeowners. As technology continues to advance, we can expect to see even more innovations that will help people to stay connected and comfortable in their homes.
I don't know. How do you feel about smart homes? Because personally, at least as they are, I really don't have a need for any of that. I feel outside of we've used cameras before to check in on the dog.
Yeah.
That was helpful, especially when we first got him, just to keep an eye on him. But like outside of that, there's really nothing as it stands that I want.
Yeah.
I feel. We have a Google Home, but like I barely use it. I use it the most to set a timer for laundry.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
That's about it.
Fair. Yeah, I'm really connected with my phone on that kind of stuff for timers and whatnot. So that's not really necessary. I did have an Alexa, but I always end up unplugging it for some reason because she's stupid.
Right. Our Google Home will sometimes just start talking.
Yeah.
Or like answer a off-the-wall question that, A, no one was even in the room to ask, and B, a question I wouldn't have ever asked. I'm like,
right.
Who asked that question?
Yeah, no one's asking how far the Great Wall of China is. Why are you telling me? Like,
yeah.
That's happened to us too. So, yeah, it just seems like, yeah, it's kind of like a fun like party trick at first when you get it, but then after a while it kind of wears off, and also the technology kind of starts fading away with how sensitive it can be to answering stuff.
Yeah, and part of me is like, a lot of people are like, it's listening at all times. And I'm like, that can be scary, but also like, I'm not saying anything crazy that whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's true. I heard that a lot of people had trouble with Alexa with their kids because like the kids would be like, Alexa, I want like a dollhouse or something. And Alexa would be like, I'll just put it in our shopping cart. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
That could be a big problem. That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah. But the thing that we use the most is like our little smart home thermostat, and I love that thing to pieces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's because we have like an older house, so it can get really hot, and I can literally just pull it up on an app and be like, I want the house to be 68 degrees when I
That's
come home.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have smart switches that like turn things on and off, and you could just like turn on lights. And to me, that's a nice novelty. But a lot of the time, I don't really care. Like, I can get up and turn the switch on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal to me. And you know, instances like that. we've talked about this before, but like every day that goes on, I'm more and more like, all right, I'm gonna go live in the woods now. Like, I don't need any of this shit.
Yeah.
However, I will say, if a smart house like the smart house in the movie existed, outside of the potentiality of her going crazy, that'd be really cool. Like,
well, you don't have a teenage son that wants to replace their mother figure, but not replace their mother figure. So.
Exactly. But like the thought of like food just being made.
Oh yeah, that
okay.
really appeals to me. To be like, yeah.
I get
Pat, I'd like a banana smoothie. Like, let's get on that.
I'd be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
I'd be in so much trouble. But something like that, or like even the walls turning is cool to me. Like, so in that sense of the more outlandish version of a smart house, I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah.
But like as it stands,
I need to get that vacuuming floor too.
Yeah, smart houses as is. I'm like, yeah, it's nice. It's like convenience. It's not like anything necessary.
Yeah, a lot of it. I don't know. When you like, I feel like sometimes when you calculate how much time it takes to set up and to learn how to use the technology, you might as well have just done it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, once you get past like the setting up and all of it, it's like work on the front end that in theory should clear up time later down the road.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's just like smart switches, or I like smart light bulbs where you could like change colors and stuff. Those are fun aesthetically. But as far as like turning stuff on, turning stuff off, I think like a lock would be like interesting to have for if there is actual added security benefits. But I'm always afraid like it's going to
those couldn't be hacked as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where all the issues like arise.
Right. And then plus you have like you can give people your passcode to access your house, which is I guess convenient rather than having to make keys for people, but still like I don't know. It's just not as safe either. It feels like,
it's the hacking of it all. I feel like they could make a smart house too, where instead of like she gets reprogrammed, she gets like a virus.
That would be fun.
And she turns like a dark Pat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she wears like dark clothing and
yes, goth Pat.
Yeah, I could see that being a sequel to this.
That would be fun. I wonder, yeah, they could. Or like Pat gets sick or something like that. Like sick with a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she's malfunctioning more often than not.
Or it could be a cool concept. Or either we play the whole hacker route where hackers do it, or like a rival company infects her with a virus or something.
Yeah.
And then there's like a competing Pat, like Pat 2 or like their version of Pat. Because you know how we have like Alexa and then we have like Google and like all these companies that have their own version. Like we could jump into like now for this movie. Here we go, making sequels again.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first one we're actually like, let's make a sequel. The other ones we were like, doesn't need to.
No, none of some already have sequels and they shouldn't exist. But this, like the rival companies could try to like sabotage each other, and like Pat could be. And
we could bring back Ryan Merriman.
That would be so cool.
Like it would be his family, like his kid and his kids and stuff. That would be fun.
Or like they somehow get the newest version. Like, oh, you went through this before. Are you interested in the upgraded Pat?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be sick.
That would be fun.
But Smart House, I think this was the best movie out of all the ones we watched so far. It was fun. I feel like all the other ones had such a like negative overtone.
And such like weird plot sidetrackings.
Yeah.
A lot.
I just
this was very straightforward. Like which I get.
Funny enough.
But
right. Yeah. And it's just how new technology was and the internet that has that just weird, like, what is going on feeling. So, Smart House, I enjoyed quite a bit.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful, and we will always appreciate it.
You can follow us on social media at 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
House, the house is jumping.
I was about to sing that, whether or not you were going to. Whatever you did.
The house is jumping. Okay.